This fanfiction story is an original work created and scripted entirely from my own imagination. It is made solely for entertainment purposes and is not intended to harm or disrespect any idols mentioned.
I was walking towards my class when I felt a push from behind, making me stumble, and as I was about to fall, I felt an arm around me, making me pull towards their chest. "Don't you people have eyes to see around and walk properly?" I heard the voice immediately, knowing the owner of it, who was scolding the juniors who pushed you accidentally while running in the corridor. The second I felt stable, I broke away from his touch. I began smoothing out my clothes while avoiding his gaze. "Woonhak, it won't be that difficult to say a small thanks. Not that I am expecting you to say, 'Thank you for saving my life, my lord.'" Tisk. I rolled my tongue inside, trying to calm down and look at him with a mocking smile. "YN. Oh, my lord. Why did you think I would not dare saying that to you? You are my savior, my lord. Thank you so much for saving me, otherwise it could have caused a huge accident." I slightly bowed down to pay him a respect and stood straight facing him while rolling eyes. "YN. Happy now?" "Woonhak. Obviously expecting something normal from you is an impossible task." That's when we heard two people running towards us while murmuring, "Wonhee. Yeah, stop fighting." Minjae, breathing heavily. No, not again. Don't break anything again." Before letting us say anything, Wonhee stood in front of me and Minjae in front of him, trying to block us from fighting. "YN. Stop it, you two. We aren't fighting." Murmurs, "At least for now." "Woonhak, why are you being so dramatic? Jeez. Now move aside, dude, I won't kill her." Minjae, "Promise me, or else I'm not letting you go." Wonhee, "We can't trust these two. They break things, pull each other's hair every time. Not today, cause you two have already received your last warning yesterday." Minjae, nodding eagerly, agreeing to Wonhee. "The next step is you two getting suspended." Both push the two away from each other at the same time while dusting their clothes off. "YN. We know, and we are trying to not get on each other's nerves." A skeptical scoff sounded from the side, prompting me to shoot him a glare that clearly demanded, "What is your problem?" "Woonhak. That's your definition of trying? Wow, you are miles away from it then. That awful attitude towards someone who literally just saved you. It almost made me throw my hands up in frustration. But I didn't, because I'm actually putting effort into being the mature one here, unlike someone." Tisks and rolls his eyes. "YN. The mature one? Are you out of your?" I took a sharp step forward, determined to wipe that arrogant smirk right off his face. But as I closed the distance, the sudden shift in wind brought back the faint scent of his cologne. My mind traitorously replayed the feeling of his solid grip, spinning me away from danger just moments ago. Up close, I realized just how much he towered over me. My words caught in my throat. "YN, you're barely..." I trailed off, feeling a sudden irritating warmth creeping up my neck. I quickly snapped my gaze to the floor, biting my inner cheek. Woonhak, who had braced himself for a shouting match, blinked down at me in surprise. Seeing me suddenly quiet and flushed, his smirk faltered. He cleared his throat roughly, his hand flying to the back of his neck as he looked away toward the lockers. Wonhee, narrowing her eyes, looking between the two of you. "Wait, why did it suddenly get so quiet?" Minjae, blinking rapidly, confused. "Are they practicing telepathic cursing? Is the fight over?" YN, "You know what? Taking deep breath. Let's just go. I don't want to waste any more of my energy now." With a sudden weird atmosphere, you march towards the exit, with Wonhee and Minjae standing there in complete confused state, with Woonhak just ruffling his hair frustratedly. The next day, by the time you, Wonhee, and Minjae made it to the next classroom, the bell was already ringing. You hurried inside, still trying to cool down the residual warmth in your cheeks. Just your luck, the English teacher, Mr. Han, was already at the podium, tapping his marker impatiently against the whiteboard. "Mr. Han, the late parade has arrived. Take your seats quickly, please. And before you sit, I have a quick announcement regarding your seat assignments for the final term project." A collective groan rippled through the classroom. You scrambled toward your usual seat next to Wonhee, but Mr. Han held up a hand, pointing to the seating chart projected on the screen. "Mr. Han, no, new seats today. Find your name on the board." You squinted at the screen, scanning the rows. "Row 3, seat 2, YN. You smiled, relieved, but your eyes slid right to the name next to yours. Row 3C3, Kim Woonhak. YN, under your breath. You have got to be kidding me. Right at that moment, the classroom doors slid open again, and Woonhak walked in. His hair was still a bit messy from when he was ruffling it in the hallway, and his uniform tie was slightly loose. He looked exhausted, but the second his eyes met yours, he froze. Then, he looked at the board. Woonhak, letting out a heavy sigh, muttering, "Great, just great. Did I commit a crime in a past life?" Mr. Han, less complaining, more sitting, Woonhak. Move it. With no other choice, you dragged your feet over to row 3 and dumped your backpack onto the floor. Woonhak slid into the chair right next to yours, immediately pulling his desk a few inches away to create a dramatic, visible gap between you two. YN, whispering sharply, "Oh, grow up. You think I want to sit next to you?" Woonhak, not looking at you, opening his textbook aggressively. "I'm just protecting my personal space. Wouldn't want you wasting your energy on me again, since you seem so eager to run away in the hallway." YN, "I didn't run away. I was being the bigger person." Woonhak, scoffs, leaning closer, "So only you can hear. You looked like a malfunctioning robot back there. Your face was literally the color of a tomato. What, did my savior's speech actually touch your cold, bitter heart?" He leaned in just a bit too close, and that same faint scent of his cologne drifted over. Your heart did a stupid, sudden thud against your ribs. You quickly grabbed a notebook and slammed it down on the desk between you two, using it like a barrier. YN, "Keep talking and I'll make sure your face matches a tomato next." From 2 rows away, Wonhee and Minjae were turning around in their seats, staring at the two of you like they were watching a time bomb ticking down. Minjae frantically mouthed the word, "Remember, suspension," while making a cutting motion across his throat. Mr. Han, "All right, settle down. For this final project, you and your desk partner will be creating your own script for a classic romance play. You'll be working closely together for the next month." You and Woonhak slowly turned your heads to look at each other. Woonhak, staring at you in utter disbelief. "A romance play?" Over the next few days, the tension between you and Woonhak shifted from explosive shouting matches to a quiet, grueling Cold War, with Wonhee and Minjae acting as literal human shields, constantly sitting between you two at lunch, checking your blood pressure, and reminding you about the threat of suspension every 5 minutes. You actually managed to get a script written. Well, mostly you wrote it, and Woonhak just aggressively edited out any lines where his character sounded too cheesy. The day arrived to practice the first few scenes. The 4 of you gathered in an empty clubroom after school. Wonhee was sitting on a desk holding the master script, and Minjae was happily eating a bag of chips, acting as the audience/security guard. You were flipping through the pages of the climax scene you had just finished drafting last night. It was a dramatic scene where your character is confronted by her toxic ex-boyfriend, who tries to win her back with a sudden kiss, only for Woonhak's character, the new crush, to witness it. You hadn't shown Woonhak the final pages yet. He was currently across the room, leaning against the chalkboard, looking over his lines for the earlier scenes. YN. Okay, so for this emotional climax, we have a bit of a logistical issue. My character is supposed to be kissing her ex to create dramatic tension before Woonhak's character interrupts. We need an extra person to play the ex. Wonhee perked up, tapping her chin with her pen. Wonhee, ooh, a dramatic twist. We can just ask anyone from the drama club for a cameo play. It's not hard. Heck, we even have Minjae right here. Minjae, choking on a chip. Wait, what? I mean, I guess my acting range is pretty wide. I could play a toxic ex. Slam. The loud bang of a script hitting the desk made all 3 of you jump. Woonhak had suddenly marched across the room, snatching the newly written pages out of your hands. His eyes scanned the paper at lightning speed, his jaw clenching harder with every line he read. This was the first time he was seeing the scene, and his reaction was instantaneous. Woonhak, a kissing scene with an ex? He whipped his head toward you, his eyes blazing with a mix of utter disbelief and something else that looked dangerously like panic. Woonhak, where the TF will you get this ex role-playing person? Wonhee, blinking, completely unfazed. Like I just said, we can ask anyone for a cameo play. It's not hard. We even have Minjae. Woonhak, there's no way she's kissing Minjae. Woonhak's voice boomed through the empty classroom. Min-jae shrunk back into his chair, holding his bag of chips like a shield. Woonhak didn't stop there, stepping right into your personal space, his eyes locked onto yours. Woonhak, nor any other person, change the script. Are you crazy?
YN. Indignant, crossing your arms. I wrote it and we have to do it.
We don't have enough time to change the script now, Woonhak. The deadline is next week, and this is the most dramatic part. Min-jae raising his hand timidly from the corner, glancing between Woonhak's furious expression and your stubborn one. Dude, aren't you getting a little too hyper about it? Woonhak froze. The room went silent. He had just processed what he shouted, and his entire face erupted in a deep, agonizing flush. His own heart was hammering against his ribs, and the sheer irrationality of his panic was a screaming alarm in his head. Won-hee and Min-jae were staring at him with wide, completely slack-jawed expressions. YN was frozen too, her cross-armed stance slowly lowering, her jaw dropping open in pure disbelief. Min-jae, panting, staring at Woonhak as if he's grown a second head. Dude, did you just... Woonhak cut him off, spinning away from YN and aggressively rubbing the back of his neck, his whole posture shouting regret. He scrambled for the first absurd excuse his panicked mind could construct. Woonhak, if someone has to do it, I'll just play both roles. I can quickly change clothes or wear a fake mustache or whatever. It's not a big deal. It's better than you kissing some random guy. Or Min-jae. You can't kiss Min-jae. He gestured wildly, desperately trying to sell this insane logistics plan while refusing to meet YN's eyes. Won-hee, stepping forward slowly, looking highly entertained. You are going to play both the ex-boyfriend and the new crush in the same scene. How exactly do you propose you do that, Einstein? Min-jae, and are you okay, dude? Your face is redder than a fire extinguisher. Do you need water? Or maybe a minute? YN, staring at Woonhak, utterly dumbfounded as the silence stretches. You're serious? The sheer absurdity of Woonhak's fake mustache proposal hung heavily in the air.
Won-hee, bursting into laughter, clapping her hands.
All right, before Woonhak actually combusts from embarrassment and gets us all suspended for spontaneous property damage, let's fix this. She snatched the script from Woonhak's shaking hands, grabbed a pen from behind her ear, and aggressively crossed out a few lines. Won-hee, there, no ex-boyfriend, no Min-jae, no fake mustaches. The ex just sends a dramatic text message instead. YN reads it, gets upset, and Woonhak, your character, swoops in to comfort her. Happy now, Mr. Mature? Woonhak let out a breath he seemed to have been holding for a century, his shoulders finally dropping as his face slowly returned to its normal color. He shoved his hands deep into his pockets, nodding stiffly. Woonhak, yeah, fine, whatever. That's logistically more efficient anyway. Min-jae, shaking his head, muttering to himself, logistically efficient. Right, sure, dude. With the crisis averted, the four of you spent the next hour running through the newly edited scene. Without the distraction of a chaotic kissing plot, the practice went surprisingly smooth. By the time Mr. Han came back to check on the room, you and Woonhak managed to perform the climax flawlessly, delivering the lines with actual, genuine emotion that left Won-hee and Min-jae quietly high-fiving in the background. Mr. Han, excellent work, you two. I see no fighting, no broken furniture, and a solid script. Keep this up and you two might actually survive until graduation without a suspension. After school, as the sun began to set, casting a warm orange glow over the school gates, the group finally split up. Won-hee and Min-jae ran ahead to catch their bus, leaving you and Woonhak walking a few paces behind them in a surprisingly peaceful silence. The sharp, aggressive edge that usually defined your relationship felt a little softer now. YN, breaking the silence, looking ahead.
Woonhak, glancing down at you, his pace slowing to match yours. What?
Thanks, for not actually ruining the script. And for, earlier in the hallway, I never really said it properly. Woonhak stopped walking. You stopped too, turning to look at him. The sunset caught the edge of his eyes, making him look far less like a menacing rival, and a lot more like, well, the boy who had held you tight to keep you from falling. He rubbed the back of his neck, a tiny, genuine smile tugging at the corner of his lips. a rare sight that made your stomach do a familiar, annoying flip. Woonhak, don't sweat it. Just try to look where you're walking from now on. I might not always be there to catch you. He paused, his smile turning a bit teasing. Though honestly, I think I preferred the version of you that called me my lord. YN, scoffing, rolling your eyes as you started walking again. Keep dreaming, Kim Woonhak. That was a one-time only performance. Woonhak, laughing softly, jogging a step to catch up, and walking right by your side. We'll see about that. We still have 3 weeks of rehearsals left. As your shoulders brushed against his in the fading evening light, you both knew things weren't exactly the same anymore. The rivalry was still there,